Day job number 2 is for another sail training organisation, Ocean Youth Trust. They run a beautiful vessel called Prolific. She does sometimes come into Haslar Marina.
I've been on board, yeah.
Her home berth is Ocean Village in Southampton. They do the other end of sail training, so they do week-long voyages, mostly, again, with young people. So school groups, youth groups. Most of the time they work in collaboration with an existing charity. So, for example, young carers who support kids who find they have to help look after a sibling or a parent, and it's a bit of a respite for them.
Give them a week sailing
sailing, meet other kids who are going through similar challenges, do something nice, not worry about their responsibilities for a while. So that's one big market for Ocean Youth Trust. They do quite a lot, as I say, with with school groups, and from all over the country. So they have school groups coming down from London to do a bit of adventurous training, and not all schools, but some schools are enlightened and realise it's not just, they're away from the classroom, from their syllabus, but actually they're learning so much valuable stuff. I keep going back to sail training and how great it is. I won't bang on about it too much.
No, that's what we're here. That's your passion. Tell us about your passion.
But yeah, some schools do realise that, especially for the kids that might not be that good academically, or they struggle sitting still in a classroom, and they come out on the boat and they think, I'm not much good at stuff. And then suddenly they realise they're actually really good at stuff. It's a little anecdote again. I had when I was working for the Sea Cadets. It was quite a rough week, and we had 5 kids on board. Out of 4 of them were being seasick, literally hanging over the side, throwing up. And one kid was looking after all of them and bringing them cups of water and making sure they were warm enough and bringing them a tissue if they'd made a bit of a mess and getting buckets of water to sluice the decks off so there wasn't a mess. This kid was amazing. And then somebody told me afterwards that he wasn't confident in school at all because he just struggled sitting still. So I think this was probably about 15 years ago, and at the time there wasn't as much awareness of ADHD and those sort of conditions, but I imagine he was potentially on that spectrum. The sailing and being on the boat really brought out the best in him.
I want to call back here to something that we talked about in part 1, which was we talked about sport and not being picked first or being picked last. And I had really bad asthma when I was a teenager, so I was always in the bottom set. And also I've always been the most uncompetitive person. People that know me now might not recognise that teenage kid, but that's who I was. And so I was always in the bottom set. I was always picked last, and I hated the idea of competition because I hated losing. And I wonder if one of the things I was listening to you there about the kind of the cooperative nature of sail training, is that a thing as well? Because I've got 2 young kids, and I think about, I want them to find something, particularly something physical, something to develop all those great skills. But I wonder if sometimes, if sport, they might not even be sporty. Almost you said, you weren't that, you don't see yourself, you didn't see yourself as not a sporty person, but you are, this is a thing. Yeah. And there must be similarities there, but is it that thing of competition versus cooperation, do you think?
I'd never thought of it that way, but maybe that's why I like sail training so much, because it is cooperation. Yeah, how interesting. Yep.
And then also, but then there's also the idea of racing as well. It's always felt funny to me that, and I've seen people, I've tried dinghy sailing, and I was like, people are really competitive about this. They're really going for it. And I was like,
not that I've done much yacht racing, but I do get competitive, but you're still in a team. The type I would do where you're on a bigger boat, you wouldn't be sailing by yourself. And people do get really competitive, I don't know, in certain situations. So part of the ASTO offering was that we did regattas for all these sail training vessels, and we always said it's not actually about winning, it's about taking part. But you still get the skippers still it gets quite heated, but in a fun way. So I do quite enjoy that. So
what I understand about the sea as well is there's the competitive element, but the moment if anyone was in trouble, suddenly the competition would just melt away, and everyone would just pull together, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
That's something you learn from that.
Absolutely. And for the small ships races, as they were called, We gave prizes for best dressed crew. Sometimes we had to invent prizes because there wasn't enough wind, so actually nobody had won. So we had to, most stylish arrival in port, or we just make stuff up. But because it's an event for kids, so the most of the crew, we used to have about 250 kids there, and by kids I mean age 12 to 17. So we made it fun.
It's the key thing, making it fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about making it fun.